Hello, this video is on Module 3, Program Planning, Design, and Evaluation. I wanted to make a video for this module because it's a little different than the others. One of the things that's different is that it's 3 weeks long rather than 2. And the outline is there, and I'll go over that as I'm moving through some of the other pieces of this particular video. So the learning objectives are on page 2. And then the calendars here. So let me use the calendar as a way to show you what's going on in this module. So as soon as the module begins, you can start reading chapters 15 and 16 on program planning and nutrition education. And you'll also learn about Genie. There's some links in the reading list that will bring you to the website for Genie, which is a tool for helping to evaluate nutrition education programs. Then the student-led discussion will start. It's on program planning, and it will go through any questions that you want to initiate based on what you're reading in Chapter 5 on program planning. And then you'll also start working on your nutrition education project, Phase 1. And then the self-check will also be due this day, which is on Chapters 5 and 16. So, try to get this all done. The most important thing is to get your initial post posted. If the self-check is a day or two late, that is not going to affect your grade. As soon as you know what you want to be working on for your nutrition education project, please send me a message to let me know, because I'm going to be putting you into networking teams so that you can discuss your projects, and this will be a way for you to have somebody working on something that's similar to what you're doing if possible. So I tend to group people on the age group of their target population or on the subject that they're actually doing their project on. So just let me know what you're working on as soon as you can so I can get you into those networking teams by the end of the second week of the module. So that's the first week. Then we have a Columbus Day holiday. You'll continue to participate in your student-led discussion threads and working on your nutrition education project during this second week. You can start working on your professional focus reflection at this point, because it is on either the ends of chapter 5 or 16. And then the student-led discussion this time is going to wrap up fairly quickly, because I want to get you in those networking team discussions. So the summary of your threads should be posted around this Thursday date. And then you can read those summaries and then post just a draft. Let your networking team know what you're doing on your nutrition education project so that you can get some feedback on that. Then the third week, you'll be reading chapters 11, 12, and 13 so you can do your final self-check. But the networking team's discussions will be going on. So you can be sharing ideas, showing people other things that you're designing, putting stuff up so that when it's time to hand in your nutrition education project Phase 1 to me, you'd have some feedback and some people looking at it with a second set of eyes. So then I'll be looking at those while you're finishing up all the other activities for Module 3. So your professional focus reflection and this little self-check. So that's the main outline of what we'll be doing. And here's some information for the readings for the first half of the modules. This is the information about what you'll be reading for chapter 5 and 16. These I strongly encourage you to view. The others are optional. So here's the links to get you to all the information that you need about Genie. And then step 5 of program planning has the logic model in it. The first one discusses the logic model in a brief way, and then this one goes into much more detail. So this is something that is definitely going to be handed in if you do Phase 2 of the nutrition education project. So remember that this is here so you can go back to it. And then, as I said before, once you've read chapter 5, you can do the student-led discussion. And once you've read chapters 5 and 16, you can do self-check number 3 and also begin the nutrition education project. And once you've read chapters 11, 12, and 13, then you can do the 4th self-check. And then these are the links to get you to the discussions. I won't click on those. The link to this self-check and professional focused reflection. The second reading is just very short. You just have to read those chapters, and so you're ready to do self-check number 4. And then the wrap-up is here. So it looks like a lot, but basically you're going to be participating in a discussion and then doing self-check number 3 and number 4 and your reflection for the assignments. But the most important thing is the nutrition education project. So let me go there. So this little link will bring you over to the course project final exam module. Let me just show you also that you can get that over here. So it's going to take us right to here. So let me click to launch. So this is just a brief description of this project, the entire project, nutrition education project, if you were to do phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1, you're going to plan and design a nutrition lesson or program. Everybody in the class is going to be doing that. So at this point, it can be totally hypothetical. But if you think you're going to actually carry out a project rather than doing the community needs assessment in the second phase, then you should do something that's really realistic and something you can get done during this semester. So that's what I have here. Please keep in mind, if you want to do phase 2 of the NEP, the project must be completed before Thanksgiving break. So you need to be really focused and realistic about what you want to accomplish. Now, you can either design something totally new, or if you already have a program that exists and you want to go through Genie and do an evaluation or some type of change to make that program better, then that's also an option. So that's what that says right there. So in October, you'll be planning and designing or improving a program. And in November, if you're going to go on to phase 2, that's when you'd start marketing, implementing, and evaluating your program. And then in December, you will present your outcomes as your final exam, unless you're doing the community needs assessment phase 2 instead. And here are some project ideas. So please come here and make sure that you read that. I don't want to go through all the details of that now, but try to do something simple that you can carry out this semester. The main point is just go through all the steps of planning, designing, implementing, and evaluating a nutrition education project. And then when it comes time for you to do your practicum or to do this in your work, you'll know what all those steps are, and then you can really expand those when it's more something that's a longer, bigger project. So here's what the final report is going to look like. As far as the outline goes, you can see it's 100 points in the rubrics there for you to view. So that's what it will look like. Try to write, especially this part, the design of the nutrition education component, in a way that somebody could pick it up and do the project without even talking to you. So you want lots of details and information and what the lesson actually should look like, handouts. The more you can put together here, the better. And then down below here, it just describes phase 1 and phase 2 in the final exam again. And there's a little bit here about teamwork and how I'm going to put you into your networking teams. And here's the link that you would click to download the workbook so that you can complete phase 1. So it's a workbook just like you completed for the community needs assessment assignment. And then you would just attach your file by doing browse my computer and uploading. Now, if you want to hand back in the entire workbook, again, that's fine, but you only have to actually hand in this final report. That's all that's required. So I'm happy to take the whole workbook back, but this is all that you need to hand in to me. And then here's the grading rubric, how much the different points are for each section, and the details of the grading rubric, what I'm going to be looking for. So be sure to read through that, keeping in mind about the SMART objectives and making sure that everything's really clear and you have an evaluation process in place. And then the last link here will get you back to Module 3, where we started. So that's where we began. So I hope you will enjoy Module 3 and also working in your networking teams, getting ideas and assistance from one another. I'll be looking in there too so that I can help as well, and also that you'll enjoy working on your nutrition education project.